Good morning, my wonderful people. Welcome to the program. We are happy to see you. Today is October the 29th of 2022. Can you guys believe we are heading into Thanksgiving here in the US? Oh my goodness. Um, a lot is going on.
Mm-hmm.
We are asking that you continue to share, like, all the nice things that we need to do to get this news to our people. The universe is on our side because we are not asking for something that does not belong to us, but rather we are asking for something that, that we have been denied to us all these years, and so we know that it's a righteous cause. So join us, be a stakeholder. We are not here to be in charge of you. We want you to be in charge of the information that we are giving so that you can educate other people. That's the whole idea. So the goodness of what we're doing is that there's no, what is it called, Messiah or emperor. It's just all about information. Information is power. We understand what we need to do, we do it. But if you decide to sing, to sing a poem, man, when you're supposed to be moving out, you know that the universe will come for you. So let's do the right thing. Thank you once again. Continue to help us to like and share and follow us on YouTube as Daughters of Truth, on Facebook as Daughters of Truth, on Twitter as Daughters of Truth. And we are also on this fancy thing called Twitter Space, and also on Rumble. So please help us to share this information. I'm so excited. I'm so excited because as we are speaking, last week we talked about IDP camp, and I was watching one of the shows on Channel News, and one of our brothers in the Riverine area was actually begging for a permanent IDP camp. So if you don't do what you're supposed to do, it will be permanent in your life for sure. There is a way out. There is a way out. And God is not going to change that way out until you do what you're supposed to do. Go and look at the Nina's template. It's our way out of this failed place called Nigeria, failed territory called Nigeria, useless, contraption called Nigeria. We know how to get out of this. You just have to key in. So let me stop talking. My name is Munachim Saga, and I am here in Houston, Texas.
And my name is AP Simon Okube. I live in Lexington, Kentucky. And today we welcome you to this show. Like my sister has said, work is going on, things are happening, work is going on. We thank God that we are people that woke up ahead of time before some of us knew what was going on and began this job. So thank you. Please help us to share, like, subscribe. Bring new members. We welcome those that are watching for the first time. If this is the first time of watching Daughters of Truth talk show, you are welcome. Know that you are here as a partner and part of the team in making our people know what they ought to know so they can wake up. The time to wake up is now. So thank you so much. Please share to your contacts. Let everyone come so that we can have this beautiful conversation. Thank you, Sister Mona. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much. As usual, we had our topic out during the week, and we want to know who is in charge of all this mess. All the mess that we are seeing in Nigeria, who is in charge of it? According to Mr. Nereo, the founder and executive director of the Interfaith Center for Sustainable Development, in the past 150 years, fossil fuels have replaced slave labor as the key driver of human society. There is a Pharaoh within us who wants to continue doing the same thing that is not right. As we are speaking, half of the Nigerian oil production nowhere to be found. Nigerian Army and Navy, commanded by the CIC, they don't know who drives away a tank that looks like a mighty neighborhood driving by. It gets lost. They don't know what happened to it. As we are speaking, there is terror against the people orchestrated from Astorok. We know what the American diplomats and their embassies, the directive that they've given to their workers based on the intelligent information that they have received. We know how that is going. And then on top of it, they turn around and denied you visa to run out of the damn place. We are looking at full-blown ethnic cleansing against Nigerians. As we speak, the Nigerian military is fighting another army that is being commanded by CIC. As we speak, the institutions of higher learning closed for 8 months to allow the best brain from indigenous ethnic nations to abandon and leave the country. We are watching all of this. We are watching all of this and we are lying to ourselves. Some people are celebrating, going to their birthday parties, doing this, doing that, and your life is actually closing in. There is a desperate neglect and the creation of man-made erosion and flooding in an attempt to sink and devalue the resources of indigenous ethnic nations. Don't let that water thing deceive you. It's all up, part of the scheme of destruction, scheme to take over our land, scheme to run you off, scheme to make sure that you suffer. If they can't kill you with Boko Haram, they will drown you out with water. It sounds like we are watching the Hammer House of Horror TV. Some of us are asking, are these things real? Are people hearing? Are they still alive? I know they have lied to themselves for so many years. They have marinated in lies that truth doesn't even make sense to them. And some of us are also asking, who left this tap of devilish water open? Who is creating this mess? Where are the responsible adults that need to clean up this mess? So, brothers and sisters, today we will dive in further into the only way of escape for the indigenous ethnic nations arrested and trapped within what a comrade recently described as a giant ranch of assorted animals called Nigeria, the failed state called Nigeria, the zoo called Nigeria, the everything that is called everything but humanity called Nigeria. So we are going to start off with our first video of the day, just so that you can get your head wrapped around what is going on, because a lot of us just don't know what is going on. The more they look, the less they see. A lot of people are hungry. There is money, recession going on. There is inflation going on. There are your children misbehaving. There are your husband chasing a 16-year-old. It's like everything is all happening like a windward all around you. But there is a way out. Go ahead, sister, while I pull up this video. Oh, I'm sorry. She fell off. Okay. Sister Yuki, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Sister Mona. I'm back here. Yes, please help us share, help us to like, help us to subscribe while we do this as usual. So, like the introduction has said, who is causing all this mess? What's going on? We've been seeing it for years. It didn't start now. Over 150 years. Now it's worse. I was trying to discuss with some of the locals in Nigeria, and a lot is going on. People are in their situation, stealing even food. They can't find food to eat. A lot is going on. And we are saying, who is causing all this mess? And why are people just watching as if they cannot do anything to change the situation? So please join us as we try to find out how we came into all this. Who is in charge of all this mess? Please go ahead, Samuel.
Yes, as we continue to watch with horror the floods that had overtaken several locations across the south and middle belt areas of Nigeria, NINAS invites everybody to take a closer look of and at what is happening. Is it just natural disaster that could not have been foreseen by anybody? The answer is no, because it has happened before. 2012, there have been, various degrees of the same thing happening, across maybe lesser expanse of spaces. But from what we see now, we saw the videos from Kogi down to Delta, down to Bayelsa. Pathetic. Benue, everywhere. And so we begin to ask, how did it come to this? Is it that we didn't, because it's something that has happened a number of times and becomes particularly worse on some occasions. We then began to see the back end of the story about Cameroon releasing water from their Lagdo Dam. But Cameroon also notified Nigeria that that dam will be released, to ease off water. On closer examination, we begin to see that that dam was constructed in 1982. The agreement for how to manage the water when it is released was signed between Cameroon and Nigeria in 1977. And Nigeria was supposed to build a kind of, a dam that would take that water on the side of Nigeria when released from the side of Cameroon, so it doesn't flow into Nigeria in the manner we have seen, causing damage to dwellers on the water banks. So that we can put things in perspective and take them in the sequence they occurred. This agreement for what will happen with the dam when Cameroon will build it, what will happen on the side of Nigeria, the agreement was signed in 1977. But Nigeria was busy inviting the world to come and dance in Festac. Cameroon finished that construction in 1980, their own construction in 1982. Let's also remember that it's in that period that Land Use Act came in 1978. Then 1979 Constitution came after the Constituent Assembly of 1977. In all that period, it was that caliphate that was deploying Obasanjo on all kinds of fronts that was driving what was happening in Nigeria. Let's not kid ourselves. Not that Obasanjo is completely absolved of blame, but who is the controller of that Nigeria that didn't do its part in the period, the critical period? Okay, you didn't do it from 77. By 1982, Cameroon built its part. But it wasn't 1982 that the first time they will have the need to release water from the dam, nobody would. But a number of times, floods happened in such a way that was confusing. It was only down the road that it became something people, of course, some talked about climate change and then water level rising, people running their mouth in Abuja. It was, upon closer examination that we began to see the Cameroonians, particularly after the 2012 incident. And in that 2012, of course, there was a Jonathan that was president. When the flood might have receded, election was already knocking at everybody's window. And 2015 came, our man Buhari then took over. So we're saying that going by what happened in 2012, in terms of the damage, the extent of damage recorded from that overflow of water that Nigeria did not contain, it is inconceivable that a people who know that such could happen again will not do anything at all. And that's why we now beam the satellites, because it was after that 2012 incident that the full consequence of what could go wrong if this compensating dam or this containment dam is not built. It was after 2012 that the full consequence, became manifest for all to see. Jonathan left when he was chased out in 2015. And from that 2015 to now, we're talking about 7 years. We are back to the flood that has now caused a lot more damage than what we saw in 2012. And the federal authorities, the ones sitting in Abuja, are just carrying on as if nothing is. We see in other countries where flash floods or all kinds of things happen and 2-3 people, become casualty of it. And the president of the US, for instance, the president will leave whatever he's doing to go to the place. It's such an extraordinary emergency that water will be allowed, water will come and do the kind of havoc. You see all the kind of things they immediately put in place. Look at what is going on in Nigeria now and see they are still talking about NEMA and who will approve. And when people are dying by the hour, people need what they don't have water to drink. They are stranded, left all to themselves. And that Nigeria is still discussing the election. We're just coming from 8 months of universities shut down. Are we blind not to see that if the objective of Boko Haram is to shut down Western education, and the champion of that Boko Haram is our president, we are now feeling surprised that our university system will be shut down for the kind of stupid reasons we have seen coming out of the mouth of one Ngige in Abuja.
Mm-hmm.
As it is with that education, so it is with this flood and all that should have been happening. So we come to the suspicion that there's a deliberate desire, there's a deliberate orchestration from the owners of Nigeria, the caliphate invaders, from those who controlling Nigeria at this time, to have these territories submerged. Oh, is it Samuel Ortom that will then cry to Abuja to come to help the Samuel Ortom and the thief people that are to be wiped out? Abuja will now come and salvage them from inside water that come from across. They will, in fact, ask Cameroon to, leave to open the dam permanently until nobody is standing. That's the kind of thing they will do. That's what we suspect is going on. And that brings us to the urgency of the situation we have to deal with. We have to take charge of our space and responsibility for ourselves in those spaces. The Nigeria that is pretending to be managing our affairs is now under the control of the enemy that seeks our extermination. Benue should understand that. Bayelsa should understand that. Kogi should understand that. All the Delta should understand that. We can pretend for how much we like, but the basis of our conclusion is that if the peoples of the South and Middle Belt were to be in charge of mitigating this kind of disaster that is sure to come, that can be anticipated. Cameroon wrote their letter. What did anybody do with it? What did the people who received it do with it? And so, if we say that it is possible, if we say we suspect that it is deliberate, the damage being inflicted is being aggravated by the deliberate desire of those who should have mitigated. If we say so, it is because we have historical antecedents. Remember
All right, so you can watch this video in its entirety on the Nina's YouTube video to understand the whole information that Brother Tony is giving us according to what is behind this flood. So it's not an ordinary flood. When you look at the whole picture, you're talking about hunger. Hunger is coming, death is coming, cholera is coming. These are the people that are wanting to get you out of your land. Now they will get you out of the land. If this one doesn't get you, the other one will get you. So it's all systematic. It's part of their scheme for our total destruction. And if you are there thinking you're in the same one Nigeria, that you think you're getting ready for election, I suggest you might as well get ready for your funeral. Oh, speaking of funeral, where are they going to bury you? Water is everywhere. I don't know. Maybe the bird will eat you. So we need to do better. We really have to do better. God is not coming down. No, we keep saying it. 500 years of slavery. He did not drown the sheep. The sheep came back over and over, peak and return, and peak and return. For 500 years, nothing happened. That lesson alone should teach us that if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you will die, and world without end will continue. Go ahead, sister.
Thank you, my sister. We must be responsible. We must take charge of our spaces, the territory that God, you see, God positioned you where you are. There's a time we did a show here, we called it, That's Your Own Garden of Eden. As an indigenous person, where you came from is your own Garden of Eden. And what are you supposed to do? What was the instruction that was given to Adam and Eve? He said, take care of the land, till it, do the land, treat the land the way you should treat like life, improve on it. It did not say you should allow people to come inside and mess it up. But what did we do? We actually allowed that. And now all of us who have run out of the land, and more things are going to happen to chase us out of that land because of the milk and honey flowing in that land. So my sister has put off a PowerPoint for us to follow this discussion. We want you to be part of the discussion so that you go and make investigation, whether what we're telling you is true or not. So economic sabotage. What is the essence of the economic sabotage that is going on? Can't you see the crude oil theft? All the things going on. Economically, we, the indigenous peoples, are being sabotaged. What's the essence? So that they will take all the money and sponsor terrorism. You see, there's everywhere shouting. America is shouting, terror is coming, Nigeria, terror. Then the Fulani, the caliphate are saying, oh, no. Rest easy. There's no terrorism coming. You're fine, you're good, just stay, relax. People are literally seeing terror come. Why are they doing that? We give you an example of the economic sabotage. Documentation of all the oil taken out of Nigeria. Who does it? NNPC. Now, who appoints the director of NNPC? The president. Who supervises the work of NNPC? Petroleum Minister. Who has oversight on what the Petroleum Minister does? The president. You see the sequence? Right in our before, one single man became in charge of NNPC, became the Petroleum Minister, became the president and commander-in-chief.
Why you think that's normal?
Exactly. This same person will apply for contracts and all whatever I want to do about the oil. This same person will approve it. This same person will oversee the execution. Is it normal? We are talking about 3 million barrels of crude oil, my people. 700,000 barrels per day. If one barrel is $100, that means we are talking about $200 million per day.
Hey!
This is the figures. This is the figure we're given. Who is sabotaging the infrastructure? Why is that happening? So they can create and weaponize poverty. When you are poor in the land that God has given to you, you will run away. You'll be forced, you'll be smoked. Like a rat, you'll be smoked out of your hole. And when you're smoked out of your hole, what happens? Your land will be taken over by those that need it. Talk about mismanagement of resources, leading to failure of states. Let's go to the next slide. And the next one too. Okay. These are all the ways they have sabotaged the indigenous peoples. Now, there's man-made aggravation of natural disaster. They did it. Like the video we showed you, in 1977, our people already anticipated there will be a disaster if we neglect, if we do not do what we're supposed to do. The decision for that dam, to build that dam, was made in 1977. That was when Nigeria did first stack. Instead of building a dam, they gathered people and they were dancing. Naked people came, people without their demons and their culture from their villages and everything gathered in Nigeria instead of building a dam. Who was in charge? Obasanjo. Who brought him? Caliphate. Because he could be an errand boy for the Caliphate. 1978, he brought Land Use Act. With Land Use Act, all the generals that fought war shared the resources of the people. For example, go and check Otta Farm. Who owns Otta Farm? That's Obasanjo. How did he get it? How did he acquire it? The cabals, the generals, shared all the choice properties. While that was going on, 1982, Cameroon built their own dam, and Nigeria did not. So, 2012, what we ordered came. Flood, the first episode. That was when Goodluck was in charge. And then 2015, they removed him because he was trying to build things for the indigenous peoples and brought the person that is in charge of NNPC, petroleum. He's the petroleum minister. He is the president. 7 years after Buhari's rule, nothing was done about this imminent danger that they saw coming. Why did they do it? We're talking about 10 years after the first flood. This is the second one, and it's worse. 10 years after we were warned, we were supposed to prepare. We had 10 years to prepare. We did not prepare. So what is the aim of this deliberate negligence by the Caliphate colonialists? Because we tell you, these are colonialists. Britain and then the Caliphate. What's the aim of this deliberate negligence? Why was it done? To damage the ecosystem of the land of the indigenous peoples. You know, something that does not belong to you, you will not know how to take care of it.
You would have don't even take care of it.
It doesn't belong to you. So you will damage it. It's not yours. Now, it's caused man-made climate change. Why? To devalue the resources and the environment. This has happened before. It's a strategy they use. It's kind of, if I can't have it, you can't have it either. If I'm not going to have it in peace, I will destroy it. It will be useless to you. It will be worthless to you. We'll give you an example. It was, Brother Tony already said it in the video ahead. What happened in 1949? When the coal miners, go and check this, there's a movie I've watched about this. The coal miners, they rebelled or revolted against British colonial powers. What did they do? They deliberately flooded that coal mine area, that coal mine in Enugu, and destroyed it to make it, to devalue it. That's it, to devalue it. Also, what we are living today, again, is the Aba women's riots of 1929. And all the role Aba played during the Biafran genocide, trying to defend the people, trying to protect the people. What did they do? They came and maliciously constructed the Port Harcourt-Enugu Road. The way they did it, they raised it up in one side. The side that is supposed to allow water to flow into Atlantic Ocean, they raised it up so that instead, water will flow back into Aba. That's why Aba went down, destroyed it. When you hear climate change, it's a lie. It's a lie. If they want to use that as a reason to invade Nigeria, you look at it. Any place you find the Fulanis living, the first thing they will do is to cut all the trees, clear all the grasses, excuse me, and build their small huts.
Yep.
They do not build, they destroy. They come into your land with cattle. They don't ever sit down and construct a mansion. They use thatch roof to build small huts. They do not develop your land. Unlike the people like my Igbo people, if they come into your land, they build it, they develop it, they build roads, they construct roads. Not these ones. They are like cankerworms, parasites, eat up everything, destroy everything. They have that climate change as a lie and a reason to invade Nigeria. Man-made desertification. Everything drying up waterbeds and rivers. So they will tell you, oh, we are looking for water to give our cattle.
I know.
That's why they are coming into your land. Why not build ranches? The governors of Kano State said, I will build ranches. Come, we have enough land. He said, no, they must come and take the one in the south. And when they get there, they clear the grasses, dry up everything, like locusts, eat up everything and destroy everything. Every vegetation they see, they destroy it. If you cultivate your cassava, any food that they destroy it. Anywhere they pass, they destroy. All you hear, destroy, 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 destroy. They never build. They still destroy. So when I read that in the Bible, the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. You know the people the Bible was talking about. They will tell you that water level is rising. That's why everywhere is flooded. All sorts of lies. It's like when you see weather forecast. Oh, it's going to rain tomorrow. What are you supposed to do as an adult? Carry an umbrella or raincoat. That's the sense of the warning. If this is what is going to happen, you make a plan. Our people need to wake up. Excuse me. Wake up. Because it's time. Now this flood has exposed the rot, the corruption. All the time that you collect the politicians, we collect economical fund. What did they do with it? They use it to marry wives, build houses. They did not give back to the land to build, to restore the land. No. All they do is destroy, destroy, destroy. So today we want to draw some parallel and a few lessons from the 10 plagues that some of you read. Because why we try to explain some of these things to you is for you to know. Because sometimes what we call on the religious leaders, especially the Christians, the church leaders, they carry the Bible, but they don't read it in such a way that it will benefit the people. Rather, they use the Bible to brainwash our people, making them not able to use their God-given brain. As a result, they made them very easy to be colonized by the colonial masters. Very vulnerable, very weak. So we want to use that, your Bible, to explain some things to you. Since you're also religious and you read your Bible and you don't know the meaning of what you're reading, check that 10 plague you read about in ancient Egypt. It started with water. Water-related disaster, like what we're currently seeing in Nigeria, where how many states and communities are underwater. You know what is going to follow? Like my sister said, public health crisis and disaster at national level. Yet, what are Nigerians talking about? Elected. That dealing with this type of disaster as if it's just about, as if we're talking about minor issue. There's going to be, right now, in those areas, drinking water problems, shortage of drinking water. So when you have water disaster, that's what happens. We're explaining the 10 plagues, using the 10 plagues to explain to you what will happen to Nigeria because it has already started. It's going to be like domino effects. Now, aquatic animals will be displaced when you have water disaster. This is public health. This is what is known all over the world. If you go and read your Bible, that's what you see in the templates. That's why you saw frogs leaving the water, because the water, they could not drink it anymore. In that time of ancient Egypt, the water was turned into red. If you go into study and research, you'll find out what made the water to become red. But as a result of that, frogs left the water coming into their houses. Just like what you're seeing there, where you're seeing big pythons, snakes coming into town to attack people because they have been displaced from their ecosystem. They have been displaced from their natural habitat. Nobody's talking about these things. It's PVC they're talking about. So you see in Egypt, for instance, a lot of frogs everywhere jumping around. In Bayelsa, we heard that even one gravesite was floating and dead bodies everywhere. These have direct health consequences to both animals and people. Eventually, animals will begin to die as the water begins to recede. My people are so ignorant. They say, yes, the water is receding. Okay, water is receding. Do you know what will happen? Some of those animals that have been displaced will begin to die. And then you have dead animals everywhere. What will happen to dead animals? Flies and birds that feed on dead animals and bodies will be everywhere. That's why in the 10th plague in Egypt, you saw flies, swarm of flies. And they will be in those dead animals, putting their liver, more insects everywhere, as you witnessed in Egypt. We're explaining your Bible to you. It's not your Bible. But rather than read it and get sense from it, you would rather they allow ignorant people to confuse you with a book that was given to you to give you sense because you refuse to read it by yourself. From there, water and airborne diseases, both for man and animals. More animals will die. More human beings will begin to die. There will be food and water shortage and scarcity. Farms are being submerged. Serious food crisis. Serious food scarcity. But are you hearing your politicians discuss these things?
No.
Are they talking and planning? What are we going to do when there's food shortage for the people as a result of this water disaster?
Our people are saying there's no presence of government anywhere around them. And yet, there's no presence of government, but they're getting ready for PVC to go and elect criminals.
Exactly. You know what they're doing? They're not using the money to go outside, fast, to go and buy houses, more houses outside, and relocate their family. Relocate their people. While my people suffer. Are you people following our people? You see, because of all this disaster, there will be increased humidity, leading to fungal growth. This is science. It's known. In developed countries, specialists, epidemiologists will be on the table right now. Public health specialists be on the table now discussing on national TV what is coming and what needs to be done. No, Buhari said he's giving their minister 90 days to tell him on flood prevention. People are already flooded. That's when you want to learn. You're giving them 90 days to come and teach you flood prevention. Does it make sense, our people? Now, this increased humidity will lead to fungal growth, like we said. And this fungus, those that did a little bit of biology, we know that they have spores. These spread diseases everywhere. Airborne toxins from mold, leading to widespread childhood deaths. The deaths you heard about in Egypt, yes, it's real. ecological and environmental damage. Through what? Nigerians' negligence. Through deliberate negligence and sabotage. We're going to have contaminated waterbeds from fecal matters. Yes, you heard my sister mention cholera. These things are real. Because we're talking about water here. It's going to blow out all those your pit toilets and all those stuff, shit that you shut everywhere. When they say shit hole, blow them up everywhere and contaminate your waterbeds. Because the politicians did not build pipe-bomb waters for you. You're going to drink contaminated water, and soon there will be outbreak for cholera. Your anointing is not going to stop this. Your anointing oil, it will not stop this, because God is about to expose the negligence of politicians and church leaders, like the prophecy of Emma Stark that we heard about. He said, "I will whirlwind them. I will use whirlwind to expose them, to expose their years of criminality, their rascality, their irresponsibility." Yes, we call church leaders because they are the people the politicians pay tithe to. These big buildings you're seeing them build, where did they get the money from? The private jets that are carrying around, where did they get them from? The politicians give them to them. And where did the politicians get the money from? The money meant for building infrastructure for the people. The church leaders ate with the politicians. They are their friends. Tell me one church leader that does not have strong, powerful politician that is his friend. They are their friends. They are the ones praying for them. They are the ones that pour anointing oil on them.
My dear, is going to boomerang. Whew. They just don't know.
We are telling you, things coming. It's going to boomerang, like my sister said. Because you know what? For years, you have allowed reckless people to be your leaders, both at political level, church level, religious levels, traditional levels, everywhere. Yes, we allow that because we are ignorant. So when there's cholera, for instance, breaking out, you do know the first people that will be attacked?
Children.
Under 5 children. Under 5. And they will begin to die. I have told you the ones that are dying, because of other indirect reasons. This one again is coming. And then your health facilities will be overstretched. The non-existent healthcare system, the one that the politicians, rather than build healthcare system for you, use the money to give to their church leaders so that they will pray for them to win another election and see vision for them. Yes. So that little healthcare facility that you have will be overstretched. We are looking at indirect consequences of what is going on as we speak. Crime rates will increase. Yes. As we are seeing already. I'm getting direct reports from grassroots. People are entering, stealing food or palm oil, anything. That's if they don't kidnap you. The strong will eat up the weak. This is a time when that woman they talk about in the widow that Elijah had to go and meet because she needed protection. She was a widow. She has only a son. The stronger people will come and take. If she was vulnerable, they will come and take charge and eat and whatever they had. God had to send Elijah to go and protect her. It's a time like this. At times like this, when you have shortage of food and water, the weak ones are vulnerable. So there will be increased crime rates. Like my sister said, increased IDP camps. We told you here a week ago, we said, all of you will be sent to IDP camp. Why? Because you are reckless. As adults, you refuse to listen to warning. And where we are now is judgment time. Everybody will be judged. ID camps, both the tenants and the landlords will be pushed to ID camp, and they are being pushed to ID camp. If terrorism does not push you to ID camp, flood will push you, as is happening now. And what will happen? more people will escape from Nigeria. Yes. And that's why you see America is not giving visa anymore. They want you to lock in. They want to lock you in into your mess. The shithole. You'll be inside it. And they've told their people to begin to leave. Because they are anticipating what will happen. That's how human beings function. Where we live, that's how they function. When something happens, they already anticipate what will happen today, tomorrow, in 10 years' time, and begin to make changes and begin to make corrections. Not my people. They'll be singing hallelujah. And stupid church leaders that will allow them to think, whether we see whether sense will enter, will be deceiving them, take them in the night for night vigil. And you know, when you don't sleep at night, your memory is affected. And then you'll be up. Because when you sleep, you're supposed to secrete melatonin. But you will not, because you're up, praying to the God that I don't know, that is deaf and dumb. Because that's the God that you are praying to, and there's no change. You're not seeing any change in what you're praying. It's either you don't have a God, or there's a ceiling covering you, between you and that your God. I tend to prefer the second one. Because God said, it's not that my ear is stuff that I'm not hearing, or that my hand is too short that I will not deliver. It's just that your sin has covered you. There's no communication. Yet people are in church being deceived. More people will escape. As a result of the flood, vital documents have been destroyed. Certificates have been destroyed. Source of livelihood damaged. People's lives as they know it have been changed. Even your so-called PVC has been destroyed. Nobody is saying, how do we replace the PVC? Because when we're warning people that there's no solution where you're going, they don't want to hear. Your PVC in those whole areas have been damaged. Nobody, I've not heard anybody say, how do we replace them? Your PVC has been soaked inside water. So how are you going to vote? In the votes?
I know, Sister Epi, God will do it for them.
Oh, okay. God will do it for them. Yeah, he has come to do it for them, actually. That's why he came. That's why he allowed the flood to happen. Because when you're very stupid, you know, like children, you know, we mothers, we know how to do it. You send children on errand, do this and go and cook. They will not cook. You allow hunger. Maybe hunger will drag the lazy person to go into the kitchen and begin to cook. What of those that are fighting Biafra war? You're planning, we are telling you that this thing is not physical war. This is war of intellect. That's what we need at this 21st century to get you out of this mess, to get freedom for you, to get self-determination for you. He said, no, you want to go and fight Chakabula. Now you're inside water. Are you going to stand inside water and be fighting? Where you're not from Ijo? It's Ijo people that can stay inside water. Where you are not from Ijo. Now, the whole area is flooded. Are you going to fight inside the flood? All we're asking you to say is that Ninas is right. We need to rework the terms of our coexistence. We need to do that. Because when you do that, you begin to take charge of what belongs to you. Right? People say that the cow that belongs to the public will sleep at the farm or desert, wherever it took them to go and eat. Nobody will go and bring them back home. Because in those days, we take our cows out to the farmland where they will go and eat, and then we bring them back in the evening. Because we tie them. We don't allow our animals. In our culture, in Igbo culture, it's an abomination for animals to eat food planted by farmers.
Yep.
In our culture. It's a serious abomination. In fact, you will be if you continue to do it, you will be excommunicated from the community. Because we understand the meaning of scarcity of food. So they said that the cow that belongs to the public, when you take it out to go and eat, nobody will bring it back because Mr. A will keep saying, oh, Mr. B will bring it. The other one will say, C will bring it. This one will say, oh, this one has gone to bring it back. And eventually nobody will go. That means nobody has taken responsibility of that cow because it belongs to everybody. For the people that say, I belong to everybody, how did he even say it?
I belong to nobody.
I belong to nobody. There's nothing that I've not heard in this place. So in ancient Egypt, wonders, disaster, and catastrophes were used to pressure and convince Pharaoh. Today, the Pharaoh represent the politicians, the caliphate, those people. They are the Pharaoh today because they're the ones killing my people. And we're saying, let my people go. I saw a billboard recently. One of these men of God, he said, let my people go. I say, you are one of the Pharaoh. Let my people go from where to where? You let my people go. Release my people from washing their brain. They need to go and think. It was God's full expression of justice and judgment upon those who refused to repent. The 10 plagues, yes, that's what happened. He had to send disaster to pressure Pharaoh to do the right thing. 10 times, he allowed Pharaoh the grace to change his mind and step down and allow the people to go, allow freedom to the people, allow the people to go and have their self-determination, worship God the way they want to worship their God, live the type of life they want to live. That's what happened in ancient Egypt. That is what is happening in Nigeria today. All the people have been agitating, the indigenous peoples, agitating, saying, this is not the way we're supposed to live. Allow us to go so that we will be able to live our life the way we want to live. It's called self-determination for the people. The pharaohs said no. Buhari, Caliphate, Britain, politicians, church leaders, traditional leaders, all of them benefiting from this status quo, benefiting from this structure they have built called Nigeria. They did not want the people to go. And God said, the grace is up. The plague has begun. 10 times, Pharaoh, because of pride, refused to do the right thing. So he needed to be pressured to do the right thing. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Don't think that you are in charge of this universe. You are not. You are not. NINA's, Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, have severally called on Nigerians to gather and compel their politicians and Buhari to close shop. To close shop. So that we can rework our existence, the terms of our existence. For instance, Peter Obi, for the first time after this flood, he said, let's suspend campaign so that we can go and help the people and can help victims. But because of flood. So Peter Obi, because of flood, you now want to suspend campaign. Beninas has been saying, suspend campaign so that we will rework the terms of our coexistence, so that it will be good for everyone. If it's good for the man, it'll be good for the woman. You don't want. You are that driver that wants to drive a vehicle that doesn't have an engine. That you, with your own mouth, you used it to say that Nigeria is like a vehicle without an engine. But all of a sudden, you want to be the perfect driver. I want to drive a vehicle without an engine. Have you seen how dishonest you are and crooked? We are telling you people that more things will happen. By the time one massive church goes up in flames, people will begin to hear better. More are coming. Share this video. Share. We want them. We are daughters of the land. We don't play. We are daughters of the land. There is a reason why God sent women when human beings refuse to listen. We hear things. We know things. And we are calling on our people. We are calling on the people, all the well-meaning people, the few of them still remaining, whether you are in church, whether you are into politics or whatever. It's time to compel these people that are driving us to death to stop the vehicle that want to come down. There's no road where we're going. There's no outlets. We need to go down. But if you refuse, the plague has begun. We're not joking. It has begun. Why do you have to wait until things go very bad? Why wouldn't you just allow things to be fixed? Why do we allow evil people to push us to the edge before sense will start to come inside? Why did God allow economic sabotage in ancient Egypt? Because the Egyptians, like the Nigerian that is represented by the Fulani today, they were very happy to have source of free and cheap source of labor. Free work, like monkey they walk, baboon they chop. That's what I mean in Nigeria. So it happened like that in ancient Egypt. They have free labor. You know, the Israelites were like slaves, so they get the labor free of charge. That's why they allowed it. You will not allow them to stop. They continue to do what they are doing. That's what is happening in Nigeria today. So God had to teach them a lesson about justice because they refused to do the right thing. Yes, okay. Terrible days are ahead, my people. It's going to be bad news galore. Let's look at the global scene. There's inflation hitting many major countries right now.
Everywhere.
So all those your brothers and sisters that have been doing 20 jobs to send money to you for you to eat, you might be preparing to receive them because those social things are being cut down because there's inflation, serious inflation. The support you're getting from diaspora is going to come down. You better start making space for them to come because they're coming back. Some are coming back in a place where there's no food already, where people are already suffering. More people now will return. People that had no jobs where they were because of the crisis happening even at the global scene. So we're saying in summary that the insecurity, crude theft, bad governance, infrastructural sabotage, failed states, reckless borrowing and giving to other countries. One person is in charge of it. Somebody is causing it. One person. And that person is able to do it through the 1999 Constitution, which the people did not make. It was imposed on the people by the same system. So what are the expectations of NINAS and recommendations as we finish what we're discussing? That the commander-in-chief of that failed Nigeria should step down. If you have a company and a manager has been managing it for you for 10 years, and your company, instead of going forward, is going backwards, is it not to sack the company, the company manager?
That's wisdom.
Do you wait? Yeah, do you wait for him to finish collapsing it? He said, let me give him 6 months more. Let me give him 5 months more so that your business will completely collapse. And there are people watching these things happen. The military, you know what to do. You're watching. Nina said that since the centralization and disposition of the indigenous peoples is what made these things happening, this calamity happening, possible. That's why it became possible. And also arrested the development of the people, the indigenous peoples. So it's time to return ownership and responsibility to the people, to the real owners of the resources. They have the right to decide what to do with their resources. They have the right to decide what to do with their space. It is their right. You cannot put the safety and management of your environment in the hands of enemies that want to exterminate you and your children, by all means. every autonomous constitution needs a form of autonomous military to defend it and protect the people's way of life. That's what we're saying, that true federalism is what our ancestors, our forebears negotiated for. Because when you have true federalism, which is a union of constitutions, a union of components, constituents, and those constituents will have constitution, which they will have some form of military that will defend it. When things are done that way, nobody will enter your space to start being reckless in your space. But you know what? Why is it that the politicians will not do this simple thing we are telling them to do? Why is it that caliphate will not listen and do what we're telling them to do? They will not do it willingly, without a push. Yes, an appropriate pressure from the people that are suffering, not from the politicians. The politicians are benefiting from the immunity that the 1999 Constitution has granted them.
Yep.
Under the 1999 Constitution, they owe you no obligation for any resource or for building anything for you. Under the 1999 Constitution, they have a spare key to the treasury, and they are free to take it, buy 100 cars, give themselves 100 social PAs, plus the reckless people. That is what the 1999 Constitution has done. And then for the Fulanis, the caliphate, they have an option. It's called Option B. That is martial law. They believe that when there's enough chaos, they will throw in martial law and take over and suspend the little right that you have and take over, like they did when we told you last week, when they suspended the constitution of the Western region, and appointed a sole administrator. They've done it before. But that will only happen because you, the people, have refused to listen, have refused to read the signs on the wall, refused to read the handwriting on the wall, have refused to embrace the templates, a framework by Ninas, an already framework. You don't need to go and do extra work. Just paste, copy and paste, and get the people what they deserve, the type of life that they deserve, like other places all over the world. Thank you very much, my sister.
Thank you, my sister, for that knockout information. Like we said, information is power. You can see we are very intentional with the way that we're delivering this information. The goal is for you to take this thing, watch it again, understand it, and share, like, do all the things that we need to do, because they don't want anyone to hear this good news. They don't want people to know there's a way out of the flood that we are seeing around us. They don't want people to know that we have the power to get these things done. It's not something that United States will do for you. You can see they're already running out.
Yep.
They set fire, they're running off. So it's we taking back our land, taking back our self-determination, taking back our power and say, hey, this is what we want and this is how we want it. They can't do anything about that. Or nature. I know everybody wants to wait for the UN. Which UN? The UN that take recommendations from terrorists. So we're telling you that you have the power to make that change that we so much seek for. We have the power to make that change that we've been dying for, that waiting for election from one Nigeria, whether they are using the name Peter Obi or they are using Chukwuemeka or they are using wherever, they are not for you. They don't even understand what the problems are. They are all the 419ers that took over our land now for over 20, 30 years. Or boys network. They collect their own, they call the next person. Peter will finish and bring Obiakpo. Obiakpo will finish and bring another person. They keep handing it over to their boys and their friends. And Ikbazu will tell you he has PhD. When you look at him, when you see PhD, you will run away. It's a sham, my people. Sham. If we have a land that we are proud of, some of these people will not even be a gate man. They wouldn't even allowed to drive the driver of a local chairman, talk less of being the governor. We need to do better. help us to share this information, help us to get our power back, help us to wake up our brothers and sisters. A lot of them will watch us, but nobody says anything. They won't call and say, oh, explain this thing to me but better. I understand what you guys are doing. I'm trying to understand. They don't care. A lot of people don't care. But for those of us that do care, let's be intentional about what we do with this information that we are getting today. So again, we are on YouTube, we are on Twitter, we are on all these social media platform just for people to get this information, continue to help us to share. We don't want to drag it on more than usual. We just want people to so we just want to be concise so that we can get the information that we need and get it over with. So a little bit of announcement. Actually, we have some pictures that we wanted to share. Let me pull up those pictures real quick. These are the people sucking our money and making it Lenonwa Buhari to be what is it called, oil executive.
Yeah, I remember. Yes,
As if he's smarter than any of us, you know. Yes. So now oh, it is Obobo glasses, and now she's now speaking English on top of the resources in our land, and we're here watching, you know. So my people,
it's
we
terrible.
need a whole lot better.
Terrible.
When like these people on where they as we speak, you know, there's go ahead and discuss this.
Yeah, that's the oil theft we're talking about, you know, stealing the oil. The same people stealing the oil. Now they are coming that, oh, they want to change the Naira notes. Who are they changing the Naira notes for? The main criminals don't even keep their money in Naira. Their money they keep in foreign banks and in dollars, not in Naira. So if you want change Naira notes 20 times, it's the same people. You're just suffering the people, and they continue to suffer. And you know what? That will increase the crisis. As more people suffer, as you make life difficult for more people, the crisis will increase, and the collapse of your country is by yourself. You are the ones collapsing it by yourself, and it will be going down every day. This is your Buhari's daughter, member of NNPC board of directors, excuse me.
Yeah, her salary is 6.7 million, but you, the NEPA worker, you get $30,000 and you're okay with it.
Imagine.
I'm telling you guys, we have to do better. Someone is benefiting from our pain. Look at this picture here. I mean, what is this? Swimming pool with people in the middle.
Terrible.
So if we don't make the right move, God has already given us an example with Osinachi. You cannot sabotage God by being stupid and not doing what you're supposed to do.
No.
You continue to sing, pretend, look for PVC, obedient, this and this and this. You will be swimming in this pond here because it's not even pool. You will be swimming in it. And God will remain God, though. Look at all these mansions. Look at all these things. They are literally trying to devalue our land, take away everything, make sure there is no food. Remember, they said they were going to use food. That's why they're using their cows to destroy our farmland so that they can increase hunger. Now they have used dam to now totally destroy our farmland. Guess what's going to happen? You may have to change your name to Musa Adamu before you can eat. You may have to change your name to Farouk Mohammed before you can get a loan or charge a one of people. Peter Obi will nowhere to be found. He will be in his mansion telling you he only has one watch. Look at it here. Me too. I only have one watch. You know, he'll be sitting at his swimming pool. He will be enjoying his 70th birthday because he's an errand boy. People are handling him. He has played the role they want him to play. People will leave you in that swimming pool all by yourself. Look at all these homes. How are we going to recover these assets?
Millions.
Talking about millions upon millions upon millions. Look at my poor people. Tell me where we are going to even begin. Holidays supposed to be around the corner. This is where my people find themselves because they don't listen. They told you that 10th month, my people, 10th month, things will turn upside down for you. People were telling us to shut up. You don't know what you're saying. I am obedient. They will come out. They will do movie. Harriena movie. Harriena this one. Hamburger here. They will run here and tell you, oh, I understand Nina's. They will come out and say one thing. The next week, they are obedient. They will show you movie and their house is looking nice. this is the mess, my people.
Yep.
Like I said, we have nothing to gain from this. All we want is for you to be able to stay in your house, train your children in college, turn on your electricity will come on, order Uber Eats if that's what you want. Is that too much to ask for?
No, my sister.
Nobody wants to listen. You're listening to people that have never cared for you. You're listening to people that are making money off of your misery. You're looking at people that will take makeup. They will be showing up on TV, telling you they are movie stars, and now they are now in the House of Representative, and they're representing you. My people, all charge of one, they don't charge.
So-called social influencers.
So-called
They will
social
be
influencers.
flexing inside river, inside flood. Look at this.
They will be influencing inside river. Look at all these homes.
Look at this.
Look at all these homes. And this wonderful picture here say we either continue to sacrifice our people to save Nigeria or sacrifice Nigeria to save our people. What does this me and my people? No how. God is not coming down. God is not gonna weep for you. He's not gonna look down and say, hey, well, my children are in the water. No, he will say, my children, the water they ordered has come to them. Let them swim, unfortunately. So if we continue to sacrifice our people to save Nigeria, we should get ready for funeral.
Everybody will relocate to IDP. And you know, in IDP camp, there's no landlord, there's no tenants. Both landlords and tenants are in one space. Internally displaced people's camp. Everybody inside relocates.
Relocate. So I know how this is not the time to be singing song and I will do this and that. We are in a serious dire situation. Please do the right thing. I don't even know if we have time anymore because this swimming pool I already hear that we did not order. At least I did not order it. We don't know how it's going to end for us. So some simple announcements. To learn more about what we are doing, go to ninasvoice.org. There's also the daughtersoftrue.org. Ninas has a YouTube channel. Please, Brother Tony is there explaining things. And I love those videos because they are like in 8-10 minutes increment so that you can watch and understand. You can follow us and subscribe and like Ninas and DOT so that whenever we drop a video, it will remind you. We're also in the Clubhouse, Freedom Radio and Restore Nations. And the phone number there is for you to call us if you need more information. Gather our people. Gather your meetings. Gather your boys association. Gather your organization. Gather so that we can empower them with information. And we need to move, close shop, and get our lives back. If not, war without end will continue. You saw how many people died in Rwanda. Today be their biggest life now. So we don't want you to be the victim. We feel like our people deserves better, but we don't even know if they want what we want for them. And that was, where we stop. So thank you so much. Continue to help us to share and like and subscribe and all those nice things. We are not here to be an influencer. We are mothers that are concerned about the future of their children. We want the best and only the best for our people. Hopefully they want the same. So next week, we shall see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.